Hey, can you hear me? Hey, it's Andy. All right. Hey, dynamite. That's what I sound like. That's cool. I love that.
Hey, welcome to Snackdown. I'm Justin, and this is...
Andy!
And we are here on remote episode number 2. Andy is in a different part of his house.
Yeah. I keep switching it up depending on the state of affairs in the house. AKA who's napping. So
there's a door behind you, so I don't know if someone's going to open it and hit you in the head, or...
Not if they're following social distancing, they're not.
Okay. So we have a drink episode today, and we were trying to think of what's a simple cocktail that we don't have to, rush out and get a ton of ingredients for. And considering my bar is a lot bigger than Andy's, we kind of had to think of not necessarily what I had, but what Andy had.
Yeah. So we just kind of started scrounging around. And honestly, sometimes it's nice to do kind of weird. And I don't think we've gone too crazy over the top in terms of ingredients. Sometimes it's cool to do crazy stuff, but sometimes it's good to, I don't know, if I were to listen, I'd be like, okay, well, is that kind of some stuff that I have in my house? And then,
yeah, exactly.
And then kind of go from there. But so I think most of these things are going to be things that people are going to be able to recreate in their house.
Yep. And also, too, it's nice to do some cocktail classics just so that people, if they go out to a bar and they see it on a menu, they'll be like, oh, I actually know what that is now.
That's right.
Because if you go too crazy with it, then you're never going to see it anywhere.
Yeah.
So what are we going to start with?
So we are going to start with a whiskey sour.
Andy forgot literally 20 minutes ago.
I named another drink, and you're like, nope, that's not the one we're doing. And I'm like, ha, 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 just kidding. Yeah, it was embarrassing, but
psych.
Yeah, but we're gonna do a whiskey sour first, and
yeah,
I think
whiskey sour is pretty easy.
It's pretty easy. I think most everyone's gonna have the ingredients, especially if you keep if you're making cocktails. You're almost guaranteed to have lemons or limes in those cocktails. This one has lemons, so if you have lemons, you're almost halfway there. So
when life gives you lemons, make a whiskey sour.
And other whiskey drinks.
Yeah.
But I think I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, you were just saying that.
Sleep super well.
Yeah, Andy's not sleeping at all, and I am sleeping too much.
Oh, man. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna do a whiskey sour. We're not gonna trade recipes yet.
Yep.
We're both just kind of Googling whiskey sours, and what we come up with, we'll compare and
maybe
contrast.
We'll do the same thing, maybe not.
We'll probably do the same thing. I would assume that there's got to be a really good standard. So
and then we'll vote on whose was better.
Yeah. I'll pour my drink all over my laptop so you can slurp it up.
I've got my straw here to suck it out from under the keys.
Are you going to be eating anything this episode or no?
No, actually.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't planning on it.
I might just get some gummy bears. I just don't want to be rude.
I could put a lasagna in, but that'd be done by the end of the
episode. Yeah. I'd look over at your video and you'd be laying the long strips of lasagna. Yeah. You're like, almost there. Yum, yum.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break so we can go make our first drink, and then we'll be back.
All right. See you in a bit.
All right. Yeah, bye.
And...
Hey!
Oh. Hey. Oh. No. Hey.
Oh, and...
No, you.
And we're...
Hey!
Back.
Very cool.
Okay, so we made a whiskey sour. So, what does yours look like, Andy? I want to see it.
Okay, you don't have maraschino. Do you have a maraschino cherry in there?
Yeah, it's sunk.
Yeah, mine's sunk too, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But I have an orange peel, so that's what took me an extra 7 minutes. In my defense, I made 2.
Oh, you made 2. You want one for Kaylin?
Yeah. Kaylin's on the pod. Say hi, Kaylin.
Hi.
Yes.
Nailed it. Yes. Buddy, I knew there was a reason why I was posted up down here today.
Yeah. Yeah, Andy's got the correct garnish, which is an orange peel.
Orange.
But
orange slice.
Orange. Yeah, he's got an orange slice. And I've got just the maraschino cherry. So let's take a sip of it before it gets too melty, and then we will talk about...
More like maraschino cherry, am I right, guys? Yum. I like that. All
right, so Andy, what recipe did you use?
So I did 2 ounces of bourbon, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, and 3/4 ounce of lemon.
Okay, so that was the recipe I was going to use. I almost used it. And then I changed at the last minute to use the International Bartenders Association.
Of course you would.
Licensed cocktail. So it's a little less bourbon, a little less simple syrup. So it's 1.5 ounces bourbon, 3/4 ounce lemon juice, and then half an ounce of simple syrup.
So it's probably way lemonier. Ugh,
It's a little bit more lemony.
this orange tastes like musty. Hold on.
Musty orange. Andy threw it out the window.
Ugh.
Darn you, Garnish.
I like don't even have my phone here to warn Kaylin. Anyway.
It's not the best time for produce. It's actually snowing today, which was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you might hear a snowplow go by, which is not great, but whatever.
Okay, so thoughts on this? I think it's pretty good. It's very, very simple. It's a little lemony, but a little bit sweet. So some of the recipes I saw asked just for sweet and sour mix, which is basically lemon and sugar.
This is very similar to a Gold Rush. I need to have them kind of side by side, but for some reason I'm preferring a Gold Rush at this point.
Really? Yeah, so whiskey sour is pretty simple, and there's a lot of like variations on it.
Yeah.
So the two most popular is a Boston Sour, which has an egg white on it, which I think that'd be kind of interesting.
Would it?
I don't know what kind of
That would
flavor.
be interesting.
I don't know what kind of flavor an egg white adds. Do you?
An egg white? Like a whipped egg white?
It was this exact recipe, only you're adding egg white on top.
Meat flavor.
And then,
definitely thicker. It would definitely be like a thicker feel.
A New York Sour is the same thing, but you're adding red wine on top.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I would
So
love
this
that.
it's kind of interesting that we're doing this drink because the day my job got like shut down and I got quarantined, I went out quickly to stack up at the grocery store, and then I stopped at the liquor store because I was getting low on vodka. And while I was there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to something nice. So I got something I was looking for something I never got before. So I got pomegranate liqueur, and the bottle looked kind of cool. And so I was looking at drinks to make with a pomegranate liqueur, and the main one I was making all week was like, it's called a forbidden sour, and it's
So you're just sitting in your apartment alone making a forbidden
and drinking it in my blanket for is what I was doing.
and reading romance novels
Yep. What happens next?
and watching soaps. That's cool.
But it was basically a play on a whiskey sour, only it's a little, so it was like 1 ounce of the pomegranate, 1 ounce bourbon, 1 ounce lemon juice, and then half an ounce simple syrup. Very, very good.
So from the Cosmo quiz that you took, what type of armchair are you?
A lazy boy.
Ooh, nice. I didn't set you up on that, but that was awesome.
But I didn't know until I bought that pomegranate liqueur that most people that you put pomegranate in things use grenadine. And pomegranate liqueur is a new thing. Like that was 2006 that they made that brand, and they're like officially one of the first pomegranate liqueurs. So before that, they didn't have pomegranate liqueur. It's just add grenadine if you want that flavor.
If you want a pomegranate flavor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just kind of like this
pomegranate
really
juice is one of the
syrupy,
main
sweet-
things in grenadine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Then I was looking, I'm like, huh. And so you could actually make a forbidden sour with grenadine. You just have to use less of it because grenadine is super sweet.
Do you have any grenadine?
I do. I still have my barrel.
I mean, it's a metric ton of grenadine that you got.
I have a 2-bedroom apartment, and 1 bedroom is just grenadine.
Yeah, that shit's paying rent. That's awesome.
So the origins of a whiskey sour is Chile.
Really? Chile?
In Iquique, Chile.
Go on.
In 1870.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not much history behind it other than like they know that that's kind of where it came from. So the first mention of it is in the Wisconsin newspaper called Waukesha Plains Dealer in 1870. But then later in 1962, there was a Peruvian newspaper that was published that states Elliot Stubbs created it in Iquique, Chile.
So
And that's the whole history.
I wouldn't necessarily have guessed Chile.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either.
Like, and I'm not like, I don't think of like a big tropical drink or whatever as being like Chile as well, but like I would think be more closely lined with, I don't know, whiskey roots.
Yeah.
Maybe more like truly European, but I mean, you think of
You
someone
would think with Chile, it would be a different base alcohol.
who was it? Like, what was the guy's last name? Stubbs?
Yeah, it was not like a Chilean sounding name.
Didn't sound, no, neither indigenous nor Spanish. Yeah, it was like a guy from like England that was like, oh man, this empire is getting pretty big. And then he's like, Hey, locals, you got a bunch of fruit that I can throw in my whiskey? And then people were just like, who the hell is this guy? He's like,
Oh, this whiskey's sour.
I'm Mr. Stubbs, of course. I need my vitamin C, and I need to...
Some people call me Sweet and Sour Stubbs.
Well, at least I'm glad you didn't call it a whiskey Stubbs.
Yeah. So
Can I have a whiskey Stubbs?
So here's something
That's
I
my
found
last
very
name?
funny.
Okay.
When I was looking up a whiskey sour, you know how Google has those like frequently asked questions?
Yeah.
The top one was, is a whiskey sour a girly drink?
Like,
I'm like,
yes, you
what?
Toxic masculinity bastard.
I can just imagine someone at a bar, like, about to order, and then, like, wait a second, and then asking Google,
Then it's like, Google's
am I
like,
allowed to order this?
yes, whiskey sour is. You should order an Incredible Hulk instead. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Anyways, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, so, you know...
I wonder whose was better. Mine was a little more on the lemony side, just because there was more lemon than simple syrup, and there was a little less bourbon. But this, I went with it just because I was like, well, this is like the official version from the International Bartenders Association, so I thought I'd try it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a ton of different, like I went through a bunch of different recipes, and there's lots of different, the ingredients are always the same.
But the
but
proportions
some of them
are...
would like add in the egg white, like I said, or whatever. But the proportions are always like a little bit different.
So I'd like to try so it's a New York sour, you said?
With the wine,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's whiskey,
the New York.
and then all those ingredients, and then wine on top of that?
Yeah, you shake it all, I think, and you pour it in your glass, and then you pour the wine on top. It's like
You float it with wine? Ooh,
Yep.
That sounds great. So I was looking up a Gold Rush, because it's been a while since I've made one, and the only real difference between a whiskey sour and a Gold Rush is honey syrup, which is just equal parts honey and then water, and you bring it up, not quite to a simmer, but just until it's kind of mixed in, let it cool. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. But it's an ounce of honey syrup, and then 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, and then 2 ounces of bourbon.
It does taste like it's good, like we said, but I think it does taste a little simple. Like it's a little, like it's lacking.
Like Mr. Stubbs wanted it to.
Yeah. Just a simple man.
It's just a whiskey simple.
But that's why I think, like, if you look up, there's a lot of variations.
Yeah.
On the whiskey sour, like the Boston and the New York and the Forbidden Sour that I had.
I'm never gonna dance again. Face it, I got no man.
I just died in your arms tonight.
You're listening to an entire Smiths track, Smiths album. I like the Smiths, by the way.
The Smiths are good.
Morrissey's dead too. Remember when we were asking if Tom Petty was dead?
Yeah,
definitely dead. Okay, all right. Speaking of dead people, I'm sorry, we're gonna do this. Sorry, whiskey sours are sort of a dark drink. My favorite musician, top 5 musicians, and number 1 favorite lyricist, John Prine, is dead. So
yeah, that sucks.
I'm really bummed about that. Yeah, good musician. He's like alternative country. A lot of people just get deterred from the word country. So just kind of take that with a grain of salt. I would just think of him as more folk. But yeah, just give John Prine a listen if you want to, or not. I'm not your boss, and I don't have control of your aux cable. So that's all I wanted to talk about, and you can delete that if you want.
Andy's souring the mood.
I am whiskey souring the mood. Me and Stubbs over here. I'm still here, guys. I never left. You didn't kick me out, so I just gotta show up early and I leave pretty late.
So what's the longest you've ever jumping jacked for?
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
I was trying to work out. And
jump jacks?
Jumping jacks.
Okay, jumping jacks. Yeah, doing jumping jacks. Or
for like an extended period of time.
Or as the Brits call it, star jumps. I'm not getting...
Really?
Yeah, Google that.
That can't be real.
Yeah, can I get a witness, Jack? And other British
star
listeners.
jumps?
Star jumps. Furman, let me know, Furman. Yeah.
If you move while doing your star jumps, you're a shooting star.
If you're shooting an AK while you're doing star jumps, you're also a shooting star. Look it up, dude. Look up star jumps.
But yeah, so I was sitting here, I hear a lot about people thinking they're going to gain weight while they're stuck inside. And I was thinking, I'm not going to gain weight because I'm going to like basically have the same diet. I'm not going to like snack all day. And then I realized, oh, I really haven't been moving that much like I would be if I was working. So then I was like, I should try some exercise or something. So I'm like, I'm going to jumping jacks for like an extended period of time. If you go past like 5 minutes, it is insane. And now I'm limping around my apartment. The back, the calves of my legs and my arms are quite sore from the star jumps.
Okay, hold on a second. I haven't seen where it says star jump. It's bizarre so I'm on the Wikipedia page.
It's bizarre jumps?
It's bizarre jump. You're going to lose it. So the Wikipedia site says jumping jack. You can also go to see also, and see also is split jack, but then external links at the way bottom past references, it's star jump demonstration. In the US and Canada,
you must have gone you must have gone on a like
from the
rabbit hole
1700s, a star jump. No, I don't know where I got this from, but so a jumping
Elliot
jack.
Stubbs was the first star jumper.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, but anyway, so there's a jumping jack in the U.S. and Canada, and then in the U.K. and other nations, it's called a windmill romper. Who the frick calls it a windmill romper? It makes me not want to do that. You see,
have you ever windmill romped for 10 minutes?
you see, I looked up windmill romper, and then it says in Google questions, is a windmill romper girly? So in the U.S. military, it's also called a side straddle hop. No one calls it that. Like
10 foot.
I want to see some side straddle hops in the USA military.
Give me 50 side straddle hops now.
Yeah, you could like slur jumping jack. Like, give me a jump jack. Like you couldn't slur. Give me a side straddle hop.
Well, now that we learned, what was the other one? The whomping, the whomper.
No. The windmill romper.
The star jump doesn't sound as bad anymore now that we've delved into further descriptors.
The side straddle hop? Like, who thought of that? Like, a kinesiologist was probably like, no, it's actually technically a side straddle hop. Like,
yeah.
So, a jumping jack, it was erroneously identified as World War I U.S. General John J. Blackjack Pershing. In fact, the name comes from the jumping jack children's toy, which makes a similar arm swing and leg splay while the strings are tugged.
There's a jumping jack toy?
Yeah. But the toy origins date back thousands of years. We're going on a real rabbit hole here, okay? So the jumping jack figure is a cross between a puppet and a paper doll. It's one of those dolls where you can kind of like hold the head that's on a string, or maybe like the neck's on it. You're not like choking the thing out, and then you pull the bottom that's in between the two
string
legs.
underneath it too,
and then the legs just kind of go like that. Yeah. But it was also called a quacker wadger.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. A wooden puppet which can be made to dance by pulling its strings is a quacker wadger.
That sounds like a horror movie.
No, it sounds like you're gonna kill it at Scrabble. Is what it sounds like.
It's like, but you know that movie like The Babadook. It's like The Babadook 2, The Quapper Wadger, or whatever. You've never seen The Babadook?
No, what's The Babadook? Hold on, let me before I get off of that. Really, it's a horror movie? That sounds cute.
Well, that's what I was saying. That the thing you just said. What was it? The Quapper Wadger?
Quacker Wadger.
Quacker Wadger.
Let me spell it for people that want to just like destroy at Scrabble. It's QUOCKERWODGER.
It also sounds like a candy, or
yeah. Like, hey, what do you want to eat? Would you like a Charleston Chew? Nay, give me the Quacker Wadger.
One whatchamacallit and one Quacker Wadger.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we're kind of getting into our next drink.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
So, did you taste your bourbon? What was your main taste?
Main taste was the lemon. I mean, the lemon is just overpowering in that. Mm-hmm. If you don't necessarily like bourbon, but maybe want to, I don't know, if you want a drink that's just very lemony, this would be a good drink. I really didn't taste the bourbon. And I got to say...
And you had more bourbon than I did.
Would you? How much bourbon did you have?
I only had 1.5 ounces. You had 2 ounces. So.
Well, okay. So the recipe called for it, but what actually transpired was, in true quarantine fashion, I know we're not really talking about it, but I filled up as many as I could to get to 4, but I used like 2 bottles and I finished 2 bottles. So it was actually a blendy blend.
2 different brands?
Yeah. So I did Basil Hayden and Buffalo Trace.
But see, you blended yours with much better bourbon than I did. I
What'd
used
you-
a big jug of like Evan Williams.
Oh, I could have done that. Yeah, I probably should have done that. I got some E-dub in a decanter in the parlor. Maybe I should get that. And as I'm walking by the Quaker Watcher, kind of tug on its strings and make it dance like a little jumping man.
You're gonna hear like pitter patters at night. Was that Walker Watcher?
Yeah. Like my son just like opens his eyes, like just 1,000-yard stare. Quaker Watcher. And I'm like, oh shit, it's here.
I told you.
I'm cocking the
It's a horror
shotgun.
movie.
I'm cocking the shotgun. I spit a bunch of chewing tobacco out of the side of my mouth. And everyone's like, why were you sleeping with chewing tobacco in your mouth? And I'm like, no time for questions. The Quaker Watcher's here. Well,
So I'm gonna say my drink was better because it was made with one bourbon and it was made by IBA standards.
heck on IBA standards. I don't.
That's true.
Wow, you really backed down pretty quick on that, huh?
I don't care. I mean, I don't think any cocktail we've made is by IBA standards, and I think cocktails are free to like do what you want with them. You know what I mean?
They're subjective. They're highly subjective.
Yeah. And like every bar you go to, they do it a little different. So I mean, I'm sure there is a standard, but I don't really think you have to follow them.
Correct. Well, let's
yeah.
did we talk about the next one?
Let's talk about it when we come back. It's a mystery.
Did we talk
Just
about it
like
before?
the
or no?
Quaker Modger. We didn't mention it at all.
Nice. I'll give you a hint though, snack pack. It's easy like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to take a break. And during this break, take some time, do some star jumps.
Do some side hurdles, straddles, or whatever the hell they're called.
We already forgot. It's too confusing.
Too dumb.
The
What a
windmill
dumb name.
rompers. Windmill romps.
Yeah, windmill rompers. And actually,
Now, a romper, if you go all the way back to episode 9,
we're wearing
to
rompers.
the wine episode,
We're wearing
we
rompers.
talk about rompers,
rompers.
which is a adult
outfit.
onesie, basically.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like a new...
It's like
Yeah.
shorts attached to a shirt.
It like gets you at the waist and the groin, but there's like no leg warmth.
So if you like windmill kick someone
Well, we'll be right
while
back.
wearing a romper, you're a windmill romper. All right, we'll be back with another drink.
All right, listen to that music. All right, bye.
All right, bye.
And
We're back.
nice.
Andy, what are you? You're wearing like a sports shirt. You're wearing a sports jacket.
Kellen found it in a field,
Wait, what?
like in like an agricultural field. I think someone was four-wheeling and like dropped it by accident. But it fits me, honestly. It's like I'm like kind of like I'm not lanky anymore. I've gained significant amounts of weight. But I'm taller, and so like not a lot of stuff fits me, and like this fits me perfectly. So it is.
Did she pull it out of the mud and the dirt and say, oh, "This would fit Andy"?
she kind of like she like dusted it off like a mammal, like jumped out of it.
So should
What's
we
yours-
sip?
What's yours?
Cheers.
Ours looks pretty Ours look pretty similar.
Mine's a little darker, maybe.
It's you just okay. You're right. Ready? Sip. This is pleasant. I
is
like
pleasant.
this. This adds a dynamic that a lot of fruity and tropical drink. Here, listen. Do you hear the snowplow?
No.
Really? Okay.
So what we're drinking is a Commodore, and so I don't know what recipe you used, Andy. I think ours are probably pretty similar.
I didn't really use one. Well, no, I did.
This is what I think a Commodore should be.
I looked up to see what the color of a Commodore would be, and then I made my own drink.
Ketchup and
Yeah, there's not even any alcohol in there. We used the
yogurt.
Coker.
So what are you looking up? What recipe you used?
Yeah. So which website did you use?
I used I can't remember.
Oh, you don't have to use like you don't have to say like. I mean, I used restlesschipotle.com. But mine was basically 1.5 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce creme de cacao, 1 ounce lemon juice, and then 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of grenadine.
Yours
Mix
is a little different than mine.
Mix them all together, shake a, and you're good.
Mine I made from Difford's Guides for Discerning Drinks.
Stop. That's not it.
It's what the underline thing it says.
Does it really? That sounds like a tagline you would make up as a joke.
Yeah. So I had 2 ounces of bourbon, 3/4 ounce cream de cacao, 1/4 ounce grenadine, 1/2 ounce lemon juice, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters.
Oh, shoot. I forgot bitters. Hold on.
Some of them don't call for bitters.
This one doesn't call for bitters. You know, the last recipe that I was going to use did call for bitters, so I actually pulled bitters out of the liquor cabinet and was going to use it. And then I'm looking at this thing, and it just like doesn't say to use it.
So when I was looking for this, I looked at I gotta say 6 or 7 recipes, and every single one was different. So the Commodore is all over the place. I saw some that had an egg white.
Oh my gosh, they gotta back off with the egg white.
Yeah, some of them had orange bitters instead of Angostura. Some of them had no bitters, like yours. Some of them had strawberry syrup.
Ooh, that sounds good. It just has Nesquik in it.
Yeah, some of them had rye instead of bourbon. So it was just all over the place. There's no Wikipedia for Commodore. There's no origins or anything like that. The only origins I saw was that it was best known to be a 1930s drink.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So, and that's about it. There's not much. I think the drink itself is if you went to a bar, it'd be completely different than another bar.
I want to say I feel like in just this research and not heavy research, but in our drinking, when we've looked up these cocktails, I feel like all the cocktails that have basically just lime or lemon as the main base, and then you get a little kind of variant and a little extra flavor here and there. That's an 1800s cocktail.
Yep. It is.
And then when you get a little crazier and there's a little more room for interpretation and you get maybe 4 or 5 ingredients in there, that's 1930s and onward.
Yep. I mean, this is a perfect example, these 2 drinks. The last one, which is very simple, was 1870, and you get to 1930 and you're adding bitters and you're adding grenadine and you're adding...
It got real crazy after that. But I gotta say, so mine called for. Let me tell you about my concessions that I made. So the bourbon, the 1.5 ounces of bourbon, I was true to that. The 1 ounce of creme de cacao, I was true to that. I used a dark creme de cacao. There is a white creme de cacao. This one didn't call specifically for that.
Yeah, mine called for white, and most of them do, and I only had dark. So we kind of
we kind of we use different recipes, but you and I looked up and talked about it before, we're gonna have to use white or dark. And the only difference that I could see was color, and honestly, I don't see color. So
yeah, so if you're going for a certain look for your cocktail, if you're looking for maybe a light pink or something like that, maybe you would use white cream de cacao. But from what we looked at, it's mostly an aesthetic thing. It's mostly for look. And so this drink is a very dark red. If we used white, it would probably hint more on pink.
So when I got to the lemon juice, because I didn't have so many lemons, what I did was the 1/2 of a lemon that I got, apparently it still had quite a bit more to it. And I typically find that for each lemon half, it's about 3/4 to an ounce of liquid per half. So I probably got, I don't know, honestly, because I used most of 1 lemon in the whiskey sour for myself and Kaylin. And so I was kind of squeezing the tail end of that. And I swear it was biblical. I was wow, I keep getting more.
The lemon that never stops.
Yeah, and I'm on the 8th day, it finally stopped. But so I took that, and then
some say Kaylin is still squeezing the lemon.
Yeah. Her forearms are supple now. So I supplemented that a little bit with limoncello, and then also another 1/4 of an ounce of key lime juice that was in the fridge.
No. So I'm gonna say mine beats yours again.
In terms of what? In flavor?
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
Yeah, lies, dude. Mine's great.
So I chose mine specifically because I wanted to use the Angostura bitters because I have them and I rarely ever use them in a cocktail.
I love bitters, and I think that they would have probably blended well with this drink. This recipe didn't call for it. Yeah.
You have Angostura bitters.
Yeah, I've got
Why
orange
does the
and
label
regular.
not fit on the bottle?
I don't know. It seems like sloppy work.
It does. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen a Basil Hayden's bottle?
Yeah.
And it looks like Bo sort of, or a weird hiked up sports penny. So I don't know. That's worth looking up.
Yeah, maybe we should look that up. Oh, Andy, while you're looking that up, I have a question. The clock behind you, does it work?
No.
Did Kaylin specifically set it to that time?
No, that wasn't the first time we ever kissed. Don't even start with that.
No. So here's a weird story from the line of work that I'm in. So I work in film photography. We set up rooms. We shoot for magazines and commercials. And when the stylist, every time she would put up a clock, I asked her when you put up a clock, do you set it to a specific time? Because I was just wondering if she does. And she worked in Hollywood. She's worked in like some big movies. You know, she's been all over the place. So she said, if you look, clocks will always be set to 10 minutes to 2 or 10 minutes after 10, which is the same. It's almost what your clock is set to.
No shit. Yeah,
and
that's
apparently
just when it died.
That is the most pleasing time to people for some reason. Like when people see a clock, there's been research that that's the most like pleasing look for a clock.
That's bizarre.
And so if you look in magazines, you'll start seeing that all the clocks are set to that time. It's very strange.
That's okay. So that's crazy. And then on top of that, that's even more crazy. I mean,
yeah,
like mine is
that's
like
why I was asking, because I saw that and I'm like,
so you said 10 minutes to 2? It's like 2, it's literally 2 minutes off.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you know what? It's always pleasing around here, and we're very happy people.
Did you find out the label mishap?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is from elcademics.com. So for a competition of some sort, one brother for the Angostura brand designed the bottle, and then another brother designed the label. And by the time they figured out that they should have consulted each other on the size of each, it was too late to change.
I've heard that story before, actually, but I thought it was like made up.
No,
but that seems.
Yeah,
but like the bottle's not even cool. Like it's just a bottle.
Yeah.
So like
1824.
That's what he came up with.
Is when it was made. I don't know. I feel like they're just wasting paper at this point. You know what I mean?
It's a big overlap of how big the label is versus the bottle.
It's like a full quarter, you know?
Yeah. So I'm trying to taste what I taste in this drink. It's pretty well blended, at least mine is. I taste the cacao.
It's very.
Well, I can't tell what you're drinking. I'm not knocking your drink. I'm just.
You kind of want to lead us like pretty early on this drink, and then you're kind of just being condescending at this point.
I taste the cream de cacao way late.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't taste it like right up front.
Way up front.
I taste more
bitters.
It's different. I taste a little bit of lemon juice and grenadine and bourbon, and then after, once it's off my tongue, I taste like I just swallowed like a Tootsie Roll. Like I taste the cream de cacao.
Yes, that's 100. Okay, so Tootsie Roll. That's the first thing I tasted.
Really? Tootsie Roll?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. That is 100% the first thing I tasted. That is so funny. I feel like you and I are getting more on the same page with taste.
Yeah.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
And like in just like weird ways, just like little ways like that. Like yesterday you were like, man, it's a real milk punch day, right? Like you posted that up on like Discord. And I was thinking the exact freaking same thing. Like that day. I'm not kidding. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yesterday was a milk punch day.
It was.
Yeah.
I like this drink. So what drink do you like better? I think I like this one better.
I do like this one better. I think it's a little more complex. I really like the addition of the creme de cacao. You said you couldn't really separate it early on when you're drinking it. I think it just adds like
a bit later.
I think it just kind of adds like a little base note to it. You know, it's like nothing like really explosive in your mind necessarily.
How much lemon juice did you put in it?
Well, it was all over the place because it was like a quarter ounce lemon juice.
You
and
got
then
lime
like
juice
a quarter
in there
ounce
too.
like. Yeah, quarter ounce limoncello and a quarter ounce key lime juice.
You should write down what you did.
Yeah, make it real bougie. Turn it into from a mistake into like a little bougie thing.
I mean, there's so many.
Oh, you don't have any key lime lemon juice or key lime juice? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, you don't have
Well, I mean, there's so many different variations on this drink. You could just add another one into the pool.
I mean, you and I have had a couple, like the sidecar. The sidecar was very specific of like what was acceptable. You know what I mean? We went back and kind of like changed it up a little bit. This drink is very forgiving, I think.
And that lends it to kind of experimenting a little bit with it.
Good variants. Yeah. Yeah.
And I liked the whiskey sour. I just think it was a little too simple. And I think that's why people have like expanded on like the Boston sour, the New York sour.
Yeah, people went further with it. So, but yeah, I this is a very forgiving drink. So if you have like most of the ingredients for it or some of the ingredients and you can kind of find some other way to substitute, go nuts. Give it this one a try. The Commodore.
And so there's also a Commodore 64. Is that what it's called? Yeah. And so that one adds orange juice in it, which is kind of interesting.
And then you have to put the cartridges in on the top. Sorry.
Cartridges?
It was a Nintendo 64 joke.
Oh, nice. So I still want to do a drink that has a sugared rim. We've never done a sugared rim drink.
I'd be fine with that.
Is there any other rims that you do in a drink? Is there like a cinnamon rim drink?
Cinnamon? Yes. I don't think so. I don't know. What would be sugar rimmed other than a sugar rimmed margarita?
I think a lot of like really, really sweet drinks are also sugared rim. Although I feel like you would sugar rim something that wasn't sweet to like counteract it.
Oh man,
Well, that was delicious.
That was a smooth drink. Yeah, Commodore is where it's at. Kellen had to go upstairs, but
Yeah, I think you made her the wrong one.
she missed the best drink.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have it tonight. Honestly,
Yeah,
we have all the ingredients. Did you do the same bourbon?
Yeah, I
Evan
use the
Williams?
same one, Evan Williams. I just have a big thing of it for mixing.
I should have done Evan Williams, but I did a different one.
Which one did you do this time?
Four Roses, small batch.
So we were talking last week about that whiskey tasting I was watching, and Four Roses is one of his favorite bourbons.
Like a go-to.
Like a go-to, like a cheaper bourbon. Not like super cheap, but like a more
it's not
attainable.
super cheap.
Not a more attainable bourbon. And I've actually never had Four Roses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, get it.
As much as
happy with
I'm like a super big connoisseur of whiskey and scotch,
You're a Scotch.
I also judge things by their bottles for some reason.
You Google, hey, is Four Roses girly?
Yeah. But I definitely judge my liquor and my books by their covers for some reason.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything that pops too much, but
Yeah, so like when I'm looking to try something new, I'm just kind of looking for a bottle to like pop out at me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Four Roses never has. And I have never heard about it before I watched that whiskey tasting. And he's like, get Four Roses. So the next time I think I'm at the liquor store, I'll probably get some.
I'm actually really bummed that I just went through my last Basil Hayden's.
On a mixed drink.
Dude, it was like such a small little,
Yeah.
what's it there, so.
I have a bunch of bottles like above my fridge where all my bottles are. I told you last week, I think I said that I have 7 bottles of scotch, but a lot of them are like at the last dregs. And I was just like,
No, it's not dregs. If there's sediment, it's dregs. If there's no sediment, not dregs, okay? Last dram. Just keep it as a dram.
Dram, yeah, that's a good term for it.
That's what it is.
It's always hard for me to finish a bottle. So then I get to that last drink, and then it stays there for like a year or more.
Is it because you don't want to recycle it, or what? Or because you just like are cherishing that last flavor?
I cherish it, and I feel like there needs to be some special reason for me to finish a bottle.
Dude, drink those last bottles, all right? Make some room. Because when we get back in person, it's going to be hardcore.
Yeah, we need to have like a big celebration the first time we meet in person again.
You know what? That's going to be another champagne episode, actually.
It should be.
Maybe we'll do like food and then champagne. It was just
So
kind of like
that pomegranate liqueur that I got,
Yes.
it came with like a little tag with like a suggested cocktail, and it's pomegranate liqueur and champagne.
Oh, nice.
So maybe
maybe we have a forbidden champagne rendezvous.
yeah.
I'm up for that. Well, cool. Well, yeah, I think, so I would say if you want a whiskey sour, go to a bar. If you want a Commodore, maybe also go to a bar, but I think that would be like a real treat at home that I think is also very accessible for you.
And both drinks I think will taste a little different everywhere you go because there's variations on them. And especially the Commodore, because the Commodore is not set. Like the whiskey sour, there is IBA standards. Yeah. So a bar might follow that. Commodores are just all over the place.
And if you have a Commodore with and without bitters, let us know what you like. Yeah. Let us know if you like one or the other. Leave a message on our voicemail or any of our Instagram socials. And
if you make your Commodore with limoncello and key lime, let Andy know.
And I'll be like, yeah, you're the coolest.
Well, thanks guys for hanging with us again.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm still hanging out with you.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's not as good as in person.
No.
But I think this works.
Yeah. I was very skeptical, but we're kind of growing into our own. That's good. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us. I know I feel like a lot of people have their kind of groove of when they listen to a podcast, and a lot of times it's at work or on the way to work or coming back from work but hey, if you can work us into whatever you're doing right now, whether you're blessed enough to work, and thank you for working, or working on house projects, or just staying sane somehow. If you're working us into your routine, thank you. I really appreciate that.
It's awesome.
Well, cool. You want to do the readout?
Yeah. Thanks for listening today. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can find this episode and others like it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of other places. And you can find us on YouTube, and you can find all these episodes on there, and you can call us at 315-313-5456, and you can leave us a message, and we'll probably end up playing it on the podcast. So if you want to hear yourself in your earbuds, give us a call.
And they go, that's what I sound like? Don't worry, we do that every week.
We do.
And Justin, who edits, has to listen to himself many, many times over.
Yes.
So get used to it.
Contact us on socials and give us suggestions, because we're kind of like holed up in our homes and we have simple ingredients. So if you have an idea for something that we both can do, that'd be welcomed.
Completely. It's a good time to sharpen your culinary skills and to get creative. So.
Yeah, and if you give us an idea and we do it, we will shout you out. So that tantalizes you.
Completely.
Yeah.
Nice use of tantalize. I think I read that in Cosmo.
Yeah. And
just calling myself out as being a Cosmo reader.
Don't forget to drink your forbidden sour while reading your Cosmo. And also, go back if you're bored. If you really like the show, go back and listen to old episodes. I've actually done that because I've also been bored. And then I'm like, I kind of miss Andy. So I'll listen to an old episode that I've forgotten. And they're still good.
I think I'm going to listen to the Milk Punch episode now.
Oh, yeah. Milk Punch.
Because I don't really want to make Milk Punch again because it's very tedious and time-consuming and requires a lot of lemon juice, I think.
But you want to remember what it felt like to drink one.
Completely. But,
all right.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a good day, and I hope you and your family are safe and healthy and well.
We thank you all for your support. It means a lot to us to know that people are listening.
And if you're about to go to bed, sweet dreams. And if you're waking up, good morn.
All right. Sorry. Thanks, guys.
Killed
Goodbye.
the mood. All right, bye.